Let me ask you something. Who's really in control of your life? Is it you or is it your emotions? Because most people are trapped in reaction mode. They let stress, fear, and frustration dictate their actions. But listen, you are not your emotions. You are the master of your mind. When chaos hits, you have two choices. Panic, like everyone else, or step up, take control, and own the situation. The secret? You're training yourself to stay calm no matter what. When you control your emotions, you control your decisions. And when you control your decisions, you control your mind is your greatest weapon. Think about this. Every situation you face in life, every challenge, every setback, every difficult conversation is processed through one thing, your mind. It's not the event itself that defines your success or failure. It's how your mind interprets and responds to it. Two people can go through the same struggle. One crumbles under the pressure while the other rises above it. Why? Because the way they use their mind is different. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but like any weapon, it needs to be sharpened and controlled. Imagine handing a sword to someone who has never trained with it. They might end up hurting themselves more than anything else. But when placed in the hands of a trained warrior, that same sword becomes a tool of precision and power. Your mind works the same way. If left untrained, it will be your biggest enemy. It will pull you into stress, doubt, overthinking, and fear. But if you train it, if you learn to control it, it becomes your greatest asset. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing they are at the mercy of their thoughts. They think that's just how I am, or I can't control the way I feel. That is simply not true. Just as you can train your body to be stronger, faster, and more flexible, you can train your mind to be calm, focused, and resilient. And in a world that constantly throws distractions, negativity, and unexpected problems your way, having a trained mind is not just an advantage, it's a necessity. Consider a professional athlete. They don't just train their bodies, they train their minds. When a basketball player steps up for a game-winning free throw with thousands of people watching, do you think they let their mind run wild with pressure and fear? No, they've conditioned themselves to stay calm under stress, to control their focus, to silence the noise. This is what separates champions from everyone else. The key to training your mind starts with awareness. Most people go through life on autopilot, reacting to situations without realizing they have a choice. Someone says something negative and they immediately get angry. They hit a setback and they instantly feel defeated. They never pause to take control of their response. But here's the truth. You always have a choice. You can either let external circumstances dictate your state, or you can train yourself to be in control no matter what happens. So how do you start? The first step is to become an observer of your thoughts rather than a servant to them. When a stressful situation arises, don't react instantly. Step back and watch your mind. Notice the emotions trying to take over. Realize that just because you feel something doesn't mean you have to act on it. That moment of awareness is the first sign that you are taking control. The next step is to consciously direct your focus. Your mind is like a magnifying glass. Whatever you focus on expands. If you focus on problems, they will consume you. If you focus on solutions, you will find a way forward. If you focus on what you can't control, you will feel powerless. But if you focus on what you can control, your response, your effort, your mindset, you will feel powerful. Take a moment to think about some of the toughest moments in your life. What got you through them? Chances are it wasn't luck. It wasn't magic. It was your mindset. You either found a way to stay strong or you let yourself be consumed by negativity, and the result of that mindset determined where you ended up. Now imagine what would happen if you made the conscious decision to train your mind every single day, not just when things get tough, but as a daily habit. Imagine how much stronger, calmer, and more in control you would be in every situation. This is where conditioning comes in. Just like building a muscle, mental strength requires repetition. You have to practice staying calm when things don't go your way. You have to practice shifting your focus when negative thoughts try to take over. You have to practice responding with clarity instead of reacting with emotion. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. Over time, what once triggered stress or frustration won't even faze you anymore. And here's the best part. You don't need perfect conditions to start training your mind. Life will always throw challenges at you, and each challenge is an opportunity to get stronger. The next time someone criticizes you, instead of getting defensive, take a deep breath and stay calm. The next time you face a setback, instead of feeling defeated, ask yourself, What can I learn from this? How can I grow? The next time you feel overwhelmed, instead of letting your mind spiral into stress, slow down and regain control. Your ability to remain calm, focused, and unshaken in any situation is not just a skill, it's a superpower. And the good news? It's a superpower that is within your control. It doesn't require talent. It doesn't require luck. It simply requires commitment. A commitment to training your mind every single day, to strengthening your emotions rather than letting them master you. Because when you master your mind, you master your life. Emotional control is a skill, not a gift. Think about the people you admire, the ones who handle pressure effortlessly, who stay calm under stress, who don't let life's chaos shake them. Do you think they were born that way? Absolutely not. Emotional control isn't something you either have or don't have. It's a skill that is developed, refined, and strengthened over time. Too many people believe that emotions control them, that feelings of anger, stress, or frustration are automatic responses they can't change. But that's a lie. Emotions don't control you, you control them. The problem is, most people have never been taught how. Instead, they live on autopilot, reacting to situations instead of responding with intention. They let external events dictate their internal state, never realizing that they have the power to shift it. Now imagine if you trained yourself to remain calm no matter what. Imagine if you could handle any situation, an argument, a crisis, an unexpected setback, without losing control. How different would your life be? Your relationships would improve, your decision-making would become sharper, and your ability to lead both personally and professionally would skyrocket. The truth is, mastering emotional control starts with understanding one fundamental concept. Your emotions are feedback, not commands. Just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean you have to act on it. When anger rises, you don't have to lash out. When fear creeps in, you don't have to retreat. When stress builds, you don't have to break down. You can pause. You can assess. You can decide how you want to respond. The key to this lies in conditioning. The same way an athlete trains their body to react instinctively in a game, you must train your mind to respond with calmness and clarity in stressful situations. And this isn't something that happens overnight. It requires daily practice, small moments of control that add up over time. One of the simplest ways to train emotional control is to focus on your physiology. Your emotions don't just exist in your mind, they manifest in your body. When you're angry, your posture tenses. Your breathing becomes shallow, your heart rate increases. But here's the secret. Changing your physical state changes your mental state. If you stand up straight, take deep, controlled breaths, and relax your muscles, your emotions will follow. The next time you feel stress creeping in, try this. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and move with intention. You'll be amazed at how quickly your mind shifts. Another powerful strategy is pattern interruption. Most emotional reactions are habitual. You've trained yourself, often unknowingly, to react a certain way when triggered. Someone cuts you off in traffic, you get angry. Someone criticizes you, you get defensive. But what if you could break that pattern? The moment you feel a negative emotion rising, interrupt it. Clap your hands, take a deep breath, say something unexpected, anything to snap yourself out of autopilot and regain control. The most successful people don't let emotions dictate their actions. They feel emotions like anyone else, but they decide how to use them. They turn frustration into drive. They turn fear into focus. They turn stress into an opportunity to rise. That's what emotional mastery is all about. Using emotions as fuel instead of letting them control you. And the best part? The more you train this skill, the easier it becomes. What used to trigger you won't have the same power over you anymore. You'll find yourself responding with clarity instead of reacting impulsively. You'll notice that the same situations that once stressed you out now feel manageable. And when life throws chaos your way, you'll be the calmest person in the room, the one who thinks clearly, leads effectively, and takes action with confidence. This is emotional control, and it's a skill that, once mastered, changes everything. Decisions shape destiny, not emotions. Every day you make thousands of decisions. Some are small, like what to eat or what to wear. Others are life-changing. Who you choose to spend time with, how you respond to challenges, whether you take action on your goals or stay stuck in fear. The quality of your life is a direct reflection of the decisions you make, not the emotions you feel. Yet most people let emotions drive their decisions. They make choices based on how they feel in the moment, rather than what will serve them long term. They let frustration push them into arguments, let fear stop them from taking risks, let doubt hold them back from pursuing what they really want. And then they wonder why their life isn't where they want it to be. The problem with emotional decision making is that emotions are temporary, but the consequences of your decisions are not. Acting out of anger might feel justified in the moment, but it can damage relationships permanently. Avoiding a challenge because of fear might feel comfortable now, but it keeps you stuck in the same place for years. Making impulsive financial decisions based on stress might seem like relief in the short term, but it can create long-term problems. The solution? Train yourself to make decisions based on logic, not impulse. When emotions rise, intelligence drops. That's why you must create space between feeling and action. The next time you're about to make a decision, pause, ask yourself, am I making this choice based on how I feel right now, or based on what will serve me in the long run? That single question can change the entire trajectory of your life. One of the most powerful strategies for mastering decision-making is zooming out. When you're caught up in a situation, everything feels urgent and overwhelming. But if you step back and view the bigger picture, clarity emerges. Imagine yourself 5 years in the future. Will this decision still matter? Will you regret acting impulsively? Will you be proud of how you handled it? By shifting your perspective, you gain control over your emotions and make choices that align with your highest goals. Another technique is delayed decision-making. If you're feeling intense emotions, whether it's anger, excitement, fear, or stress, don't make major decisions in that state. Give yourself time. Walk away, sleep on it, and come back with a clear mind. A decision made in a calm state will always be better than one made in the heat of the moment. The most successful people don't let emotions dictate their choices. They recognize their feelings, but they don't let those feelings take the wheel. They understand that decisions, not emotions, shape their future. They choose to act with intention rather than react out of impulse. And because of that, they create lives of purpose, success, and fulfillment. You have that same power. Every day and every moment you can choose. You can let emotions control you, or you can control them. You can make choices based on fear, frustration, and doubt, or you can make choices based on vision, logic, and clarity. One leads to chaos, the other leads to mastery. And when you master your decisions, you master your destiny. Every single day you are faced with decisions, big and small. What time to wake up, how to respond to a difficult conversation, whether to push forward or procrastinate, whether to react emotionally or with control. These decisions, repeated over time, shape the direction of your life. But here's the problem. Most people make decisions based on how they feel in the moment rather than what will serve them in the long run. They let emotions dictate their choices instead of taking control and making decisions with clarity and purpose. Think about it. How many times have you made a decision in the heat of the moment and regretted it later? You got angry, so you said something you didn't mean. You felt frustrated, so you quit on something important. You felt afraid, so you didn't take a risk that could have changed your life. This is what happens when emotions take over decision-making. They push you into short-term comfort but long-term pain. And if you let that pattern continue, you will always be a prisoner to your emotions rather than the master of your own life. Successful people understand that emotions are fleeting, but decisions have lasting consequences. They don't make choices based on impulse. They make choices based on vision. They ask themselves, what do I really want? What will serve me in the long run? And most importantly, what decision would I make if I wasn't feeling this emotion right now? By separating emotions from decision-making, they ensure that their actions align with their ultimate goals instead of momentary feelings. One of the most powerful ways to do this is to create space between the emotion and the action. When something happens that triggers an emotional reaction, whether it's anger, stress, fear, or doubt, pause. Take a deep breath, step away from the situation if you need to. Give yourself time to let the intensity of the emotion pass. Because when emotions are at their peak, intelligence is at its lowest. Acting in that state rarely leads to a good outcome. Instead, regain control and decide based on clarity, not chaos. Another powerful strategy is to zoom out. When you're in the middle of a situation, everything feels overwhelming. But if you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, perspective changes everything. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a year, 5 years? Most of the things we stress over are insignificant in the grand scheme of things. But when you're caught up in emotions, they feel massive. Training yourself to zoom out will help you make wiser, more level-headed decisions. Think about the most important decisions in your life. Career moves, relationships, financial choices. Were the best ones made in a state of emotional chaos, or were they made with clarity, patience, and logic? The truth is, the more you can train yourself to separate emotions from decisions, the better your outcomes will be. This doesn't mean ignoring emotions. They are valuable and give insight into what matters to you, but it means not letting them control your actions. Instead of making a decision based on fear, make it based on courage. Instead of choosing comfort, choose growth. Instead of reacting, respond. Now, let's take this even deeper. Think about the way emotions shape your confidence and self-belief. Have you ever noticed how when you're feeling good, you believe in yourself more? You take action, you push forward, you stay focused. But when you're feeling down, your self-doubt creeps in and suddenly you hesitate. This is because emotions create a filter through which you see the world. If you base your actions on those emotions, you will always be inconsistent, sometimes believing in yourself, sometimes not. But the people who achieve massive success don't let feelings dictate their actions. They take action regardless of how they feel. They move forward whether they're in the mood or not. And because of that, they build momentum that emotions can't shake. This is why discipline and commitment are far more important than motivation. Motivation is an emotion. It comes and goes. But discipline is a decision. It's choosing to do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. It's deciding that your goals are more important than your moods. It's understanding that success isn't about being in the perfect state of mind every day. It's about training yourself to act in alignment with your vision no matter what. And this applies to every area of life. In relationships, if you make decisions based on temporary emotions, you'll say things you don't mean, push people away, or make rash choices that hurt you long term. But if you pause, reflect, and choose to respond with wisdom instead of impulse, you will build deeper connections and avoid unnecessary conflict. In business and career, if you let frustration, fear, or self-doubt drive your choices, you'll miss out on opportunities. But if you train yourself to stay calm and make decisions from a place of strength, you'll position yourself for long-term success. Training yourself to make decisions without being ruled by emotions isn't just about avoiding mistakes. It's about becoming the kind of person who operates at the highest level no matter what's happening around them. It's about developing a mindset that can handle stress, pressure, and challenges with clarity and control. It's about becoming someone who doesn't just react to life, but creates their own path with intention and power. This is not something that happens overnight. It's a daily practice. Every time you feel a strong emotion rising, every time you're faced with a choice, ask yourself, am I making this decision based on emotion, or am I making it based on what will truly serve me? The more you ask this question, the more natural it becomes. And the more natural it becomes, the stronger you get. Because at the end of the day, your life is built on the decisions you make. And if you can master decision making, you can master anything. Imagine a storm raging outside, thunder crashing, winds howling, rain pounding against the windows. Chaos. But inside, you're sitting in a quiet, peaceful room, untouched by the storm. That's the level of control you must develop over your mind. The world will always be full of noise, pressure, challenges, and unexpected situations. You can't control that, but what you can control is how you respond. You can train your mind to remain calm no matter what's happening around you, and when you do, everything changes. Most people go through life reacting to whatever comes their way. If things are good, they feel good. If things go wrong, they feel stressed, angry, or overwhelmed. They are like a boat without an anchor, tossed around by every wave. But there's another way to live, a way where no matter what happens, you remain steady, focused, and in control. This is the power of mental calmness, and it is a skill that can be developed. It starts with understanding that calmness is not a reaction, it's a choice. You don't just happen to be calm when things are easy. You decide to be calm even when things are difficult. You train yourself to stay composed in the face of adversity. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending things don't affect you. It means handling everything with clarity, logic, and control, rather than being driven by stress and emotion. One of the most powerful ways to build this ability is to develop the habit of pausing before reacting. When something triggers you, whether it's bad news, a frustrating situation, or a challenge that seems overwhelming, your immediate response is often emotional. You might feel frustration, anger, or panic. But the moment between stimulus and response is where your power lies. Instead of reacting instantly, pause, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what is the best way to handle this? How would I respond if I were in complete control of my emotions? That brief moment of stillness gives you the space to choose a response rather than being controlled by a reaction. Another key to mastering mental calmness is controlling your focus. What you focus on determines how you feel. If you focus on the problem, your stress increases. If you focus on what you can control, you stay empowered. When faced with a difficult situation, don't get lost in frustration. Shift your focus to finding solutions. Ask yourself, what is within my control right now? What steps can I take to improve this? Training your mind to shift from problem-focused to solution-focused thinking keeps you calm and productive, even in high-pressure situations. Your physiology also plays a massive role in your state of mind. When you're stressed, your breathing becomes shallow, your muscles tense, and your heart rate increases. But here's the secret. Changing your body changes your mind. If you breathe deeply, relax your shoulders, and stand with confidence, your mind will follow. The next time you feel stress creeping in, take control of your body first. Breathe in deeply for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale for 4 seconds. This simple technique can instantly lower stress and bring you back to a state of calm control. Another powerful strategy is mental conditioning. Just like an athlete conditions their body for peak performance, you must condition your mind to stay calm under pressure. This requires daily practice. Meditation is one of the most effective ways to train mental stillness. Even just 10 minutes a day of sitting quietly and focusing on your breath can rewire your brain for greater control over your thoughts and emotions. Visualization is another powerful tool. Spend a few minutes each morning imagining yourself handling challenges with absolute calmness and confidence. By doing this consistently, you train your mind to respond that way in real situations. The final piece of mastering mental calmness is acceptance. A lot of stress and frustration come from resisting what is happening. You wish things were different, you fight against reality, and in doing so, you create unnecessary suffering. But when you accept that challenges will come, that obstacles are part of life, and that setbacks are inevitable, you stop fighting the uncontrollable. You shift from resistance to resilience. Instead of wasting energy on frustration, you channel it into action. You face problems with clarity and confidence rather than stress and panic. This doesn't mean becoming passive. It means understanding the difference between what you can control and what you can't. You can't control the economy, the opinions of others, or unexpected difficulties, but you can control your response. And that's all that matters, because when you control your response, you control your reality. Imagine being the person who stays calm while everyone else panics, the one who keeps a level head in moments of crisis, the one who makes smart decisions under pressure, the one who isn't shaken by external events but remains grounded, focused, and strong no matter what. That is a superpower. And it's a superpower that is completely within your control. Start today, practice pausing before reacting, train yourself to focus on solutions instead of problems, use your physiology to influence your mental state, condition your mind daily, accept what you can't control, and take charge of what you can. The more you practice, the stronger you'll become. Because in the end, life isn't about avoiding challenges, it's about mastering them. And when you master your mind, nothing can shake you.